Chapter 5. A Trip to the Forest. A trip to the forest was planned for that day after lunch. Children had to wear warm clothes and rubber boots. At the last moment, Betty took the little people and hid them in her backpack. It was a little dark here, but cozy and comfortable. The preschoolers left the kindergarten in pairs, holding hands. After some time, the backpack started to shake slightly because Betty was jumping over some roots and other obstacles. When the children got to a nice place in the wood, they threw their backpacks on the grass and ran to play. Hoppy was the first to peek out of the backpack with interest. "How good it smells out here," he said, delighted. Mimi did the same. She looked for a moment, jumped outside, and ran to the blueberry bush. She took one of the blueberries. In her hands, it looked like a huge navy blue ball. After a while, a colorful butterfly began to fly over Mimi's head. It stopped in the air for a moment and examined her red hair. Then it flew away. But the butterfly may have thought it was a flower. Mimi left the berry and ran after the butterfly. "Mimi, wait!" Hoppy shouted. He also wanted to run, but the grass was tall and his legs were short and thin. He started jumping up and down like a grasshopper to catch her. Swayingy became worried. "We shouldn't go out alone," he shouted. But no one was listening to him. "No one ever listens to me," he said to himself. "What if the children came back now? What should I do? I'm going after them," Swayingy decided. He got out of the bag on all fours and got up slowly to regain his balance. He walked and swayed on his feet. On the way, he noticed a spider's web high above his head. Dewdrops that hung on the net glittered in the sun like diamonds. Swayingy touched one of them. The spider's web shook, and at almost the same moment, a large hairy spider ran up the rope. The little man became so frightened that he began to squeak terribly. He screamed so loudly and in a voice so shrill that the spider stood on his 4 hind legs and closed his ears with the other 4. It almost fell off its web. Mimi and Hoppy heard Swayingy's voice, and thinking that something had happened, they quickly returned. They were good friends and would never leave each other without help. Hoppy bounced back like a ball. Mimi struggled through the tall grass. "Can you ask him to stop screaming? I've got a headache from that noise," the spider asked when they both arrived. Hoppy pulled Swayingy away from the spider's web. "He's scared of you," Mimi replied. "Me?" The spider was surprised. "Yes, many children are afraid of you," Mimi said. "Is that why everyone shouts when they see me? And they often destroy my net? But I help children, and I eat mosquitoes, so they do not bite them," the spider complained. "I'm not screaming. My name is Mimi. And you?" "I'm Ferdinand," the spider replied. "And these guys are Hoppy and Swayingy. We live in a kindergarten. We will tell the children not to be scared or scream when they see you," Mimi added. "Right, guys." She turned to her friends. The boys were surprised to see Mimi talking to the spider. They understood nothing. "Can you talk to animals?" Hoppy asked. Before Mimi could answer, Swayingy started screaming again. "The children are coming back!" And so they were. After a while, the children gathered near the backpacks. The scared little people did not know what to do. They waved and waved to the children, but no one paid attention. Betty had no idea that her little friends were not in the bag. Besides, she was busy talking to other girls. When all the children had taken their belongings and formed pairs, Mrs. Julia took them back to the kindergarten.